What if the rain stopped falling? Not because the clouds were empty, but because people forgot how to listen. In an African village where the earth was cracking with thirst, one curious boy is about to discover that the wind, the trees, and even the river still have a voice, and that voice is calling his name. In the warm golden heart of the savannah stood the village of Ntaru, surrounded by endless fields of tall grass that swayed like dancers, and wide open skies glowing with colors at sunset. The village had once been full of joyful noise, drums beating at night, mothers singing while grinding grain, children laughing while chasing chickens through dusty courtyards. But slowly, as the rain stopped coming, the sounds of joy faded into worry and silence. The river that ran beside the village, once wide and playful, had shrunk into a thin, winding ribbon of tired water, its bed cracked like broken pottery. In this village lived Kofi, a young African boy with bright, curious eyes, fast, dusty feet, and a mind that never stopped asking questions. While other children played wrestling games or carved little animals from wood, Kofi preferred to sit under trees and listen to the buzz of insects, to the flutter of birds' wings, and especially to the quiet murmurs of the fading river. His grandmother, Naya, the oldest storyteller in the village, often told him, "The earth is alive, my child. The land speaks, the river remembers, the wind carries messages, but only those who listen with their hearts can hear." The elders, however, were busy discussing cracked wells, dying crops, and the painful thought that maybe they would soon have to leave their home in search of water. One soft evening, as the sun melted into orange, pink, and purple skies, Kofi sat alone on the riverbank, watching the last light shimmer on the shallow water, and that was when he heard it. At first, he thought it was only the breeze, but then the sound grew clearer, like a gentle melody rising from the water itself. The river was singing. Its song was soft, sad, and beautiful, flowing like a lullaby without words, yet somehow calling his name inside his chest. That night, he dreamed of a shining river full of glowing fish, raindrops that laughed like children, and an enormous ancient baobab tree whose branches reached to the sky, while its roots wrapped around the earth like loving arms. When he woke up, he knew deep inside that the dream was not just a dream, it was a message. The next morning, while the elders argued about sending families away to find water, Kofi slipped quietly out of the village, following the gentle pull of the river's voice. He walked past mud huts with painted doors, past goats that bleated lazily under the sun, and into the forest path where light filtered through leaves like scattered gold. Monkeys watched him from branches, brightly colored birds darted overhead, and every step seemed guided by unseen eyes of ancient spirits. Deep in the forest, beneath the shade of a gigantic baobab tree older than the village itself, he found a hidden clearing glowing with warm golden light, as if the sun had chosen this place to rest. At its center lay a small stone pool filled with water so clear it reflected the sky like a mirror. Around it were carvings of children, animals, clouds, and spirals of rain etched carefully into the rocks long ago. When Kofi touched the water, it began to glow softly, and the song of the river rose around him, stronger now, flowing straight into his heart. He saw visions, people of the past dancing with joy when the first rains fell, children singing thanks to the earth, elders speaking gently to trees before cutting wood, and entire villages treating the land as a living friend. Then he saw how noise, greed, and forgetfulness slowly replaced gratitude. People took and took without saying thank you, forgot the songs, ignored the whispers of the earth, and the clouds, feeling unwelcomed, drifted away. The river wasn't angry, it was lonely. Tears rolled down Kofi's cheeks, not from fear, but from understanding. He knew what he needed to do. He had to help his village remember the old promise between people and the land. He ran back before sunset, heart pounding, dust flying beneath his feet. That night, the entire village gathered around the central fire, faces tired, flames flickering in worried eyes. Kofi stepped forward, trembling but brave, and told them everything: the singing river, the glowing pool, the baobab tree, and the visions of how people once lived in harmony with the earth. Some elders frowned, some laughed, but his grandmother Naya stood beside him and slowly began to hum an old melody, one so ancient that even the stars seemed to pause to listen. One by one, mothers joined the song, children clapped gently, fathers added deep rhythmic voices, and soon the whole village was wrapped in a warm, powerful sound. They walked together to the river bank under the star-filled African sky, holding lanterns that glowed like tiny suns. They sang, not begging for rain, but thanking the land, apologizing for forgetfulness, promising to plant trees, to share water, to listen, and to care for one another. Their voices rose into the night like a flock of colorful birds taking flight. The wind shifted, the air cooled. On the distant horizon, clouds gathered like dark mountains, rumbling softly like friendly drums waking from sleep. A soft breeze brushed Kofi's face. Then one drop, then another. Then rain poured down in silver streams from the heavens, laughing, dancing, drenching the earth, filling the river, washing away fear and dust. Children squealed and jumped in puddles. Elders raised their hands with trembling smiles, and Grandmother Naya whispered, they remembered. By morning, the river was full again, sparkling with life. Frogs singing, fish splashing, birds swooping low to sip water. Crops drank deeply. The land glowed with new hope. From that day forward, Ntaro celebrated the festival of listening every year. On that day, everyone, young and old, would sit quietly to hear the songs of birds, the rustle of trees, the whisper of wind, and the heartbeat of their own village. Kofi grew older and became the guardian of stories and songs, not because magic chose him, but because he chose to listen when no one else would. And whenever children asked him how he made the rain return, he would smile gently and say, I didn't make it rain, we remembered how to listen. And somewhere in the distance, carried by the wind, the river still sang.